So today we're going to focus on pelvic stabilization and pelvic floor work. I'm finding that this is probably one of the more difficult things to teach. So I'm hoping that you can use this class today as a foundation for all of, or any really, of the practices that you're going to be doing in your future. So come onto all fours and then come down onto your mat. You will need today, though, either a foam roller if you have one, or a rolled up towel. If you can get two, fantastic, or a bolster style pillow like this here. If you can grab two of those, that'll be great. And if not, if you don't have, it's not a problem. You can do everything without, just flat on the mat. These are optional. Okay, so once you're seated, you're going to take your place here on your back. So just grab the legs, feet, knees bent, feet on the mat, and roll back slowly. If you need to use your hands and elbows to get there, then do so. So the first thing we're going to do is bring our attention to the pelvic floor and release any tension through the pelvic region. So you're going to bring your knees to your chest, letting the legs just hang out here. Take a breath in and out, settling your back into the mat, grounding yourself, really feeling the weight of your bones through the sacrum, back of the pelvis, the mid-back, shoulder blades, and lengthen through the back of the neck. Feel the weight of the head. Let the shoulders melt into the floor. Bringing your attention to your breath, the movement of the breath down into the abdomen, and exhaling, really deflate. Let all that air out. If you have any tension in your toes, let them go. Any tension in your jaw, let it go. And now as you inhale, you'll feel your belly move up into your thighs. And as you exhale, the belly should fall. So do that a couple times. Just bring your awareness to that movement. And notice how the spine tends to move with the breath. As you inhale, the spine sort of moves away from the mat. And as you exhale, the spine will fall to the mat. Now you're going to bring your attention lower down into the pelvic floor region. So we're talking about the base of the pelvis, around the anus area. Try and think of relaxing all those muscles, letting go. You're going to place one hand on either knee, and you're going to allow the knees to separate, taking your breath in here. The back naturally arches subtly. And as you exhale, let everything fall back to the floor underneath you. Inhaling, open. Exhaling, close. And if you think you can do this the other way, go ahead. Inhale. Open. Exhale. Circle back together and close. One more. And then holding on to one leg, you can hold the back of the thigh here. Really bring that leg down onto you. So you're grounding yourself on one side. And allow the other leg to come down to the floor. We're going to release the psoas. So don't think too hard here. Just think more of being heavy and grounded through your pelvis and back. Allowing that knee that's on the ground to let it roll out to the side. Slide it away. And then slide it back in, letting the knee face the ceiling. Turning the knee out, slide the foot along the floor, just along your hip, along in line with your hip. And then turning the knee up to the ceiling, slide it back in. And one more. Open, slide away, turn in, slide back up. And let's go the other way. So knee turns inward, slide away, turn out, slide back up. Now what we don't want here is the back to bob up and down. So really ground yourself through that supported leg. And one more. If your leg doesn't slide here very well, you can use a towel underneath your foot. And then release. Bringing that leg up. Let's do the same on the other side. So grounding this leg onto your trunk. Let the elbows fall to the floor, the shoulders melt. And again, turning the knee out. If you'd like to coordinate your breath here, you can inhale away, exhale, return. Inhale away, exhale, return. Again, really feeling the weight of your back and bones of the pelvis on the floor. Let's go the other way. Turning the knee in, slide away, inhale. Turn out, slide up, exhale. Twice more. So this is a release for the psoas muscle, deep postural muscle, very important, and fascially connected to the pelvic floor and your core. So we want to make sure that all these muscles have their looseness or suppleness within your body so that we then can work them in a more effective way. So from here, the leg that you have raised, turn it out at the knee, rest the foot on the opposite knee, and bring it up towards you. If you can, flex the foot of the leg that's turned out so that the toes are in line with your knee, and go and hold on to that supported leg. So you can bring your head up if you need to get there. Lace the hands and bring the leg in, slowly rolling down, letting those shoulders roll back. And just hold on here. For those of you who find this difficult, you're welcome to put a little pillow underneath your head to support. And just think much more of grounding the sacrum, that back part of your pelvis down. So think tailbone on the floor. A little rocking movement sometimes helps to release. And we're slowly going to change leg, bringing that leg down. Switch. Again, pulling the leg up, knee turned out. You're going to flex the foot so the toes are in line with your knee. Go up and grab that leg, lacing the fingers together if you need to, and roll down, letting those shoulders roll back. And once again, little rocking movement here, allowing your pelvis and sacrum to get a little heavier into the floor. Sometimes we're stuck here with the neck really kinked, so you can really try and let that neck lengthen underneath you. And then coming back, slowly remove the pillow from underneath your head if you have one. And you're going to turn onto your tummy here to open up all the muscles that attach from the pubic bone up the abdominals to your solar plexus. Again, fascially attached or connected with the pelvic floor. So we're going to bring our legs hip width behind us. Ground yourself through your pelvis and come up onto your elbows, elbows under your shoulders. You're going to just gently think of reaching that breastbone forward as you lightly pull the mat back with your upper body. Your shoulders feel like they're rolling back. And I want you to think of breathing here into that solar plexus area. I like to imagine that the two edges of the ribs here are opening like sliding doors and closing again with my breath. So inhaling, open the doors, lifting the heart, exhaling. Without squeezing the doors closed, just let them naturally close. Inhaling and exhaling, letting that pubic bone get a little heavier into the floor. And last one. Inhale here to come down, exhale. Now you're going to place your hands underneath your shoulders, roll those shoulders back, lift the chest slowly so that you can push yourself up through your hands into your knees. And now we're going to go and work the pelvic floor a little bit to mobilize the bones of the pelvis around the sit bones and the tailbone itself. So you're going to come down onto your elbows. You're going to allow your sit bones to reach upward towards the ceiling, bringing the pelvis not back over your knees, but rather behind your knees, but rather above your knees. You're going to let go of any tension through the belly. So really let that belly hang here. This is the one time I can say let it all hang out. So you're going to inhale, let that belly open, inflate. And as you exhale, you're going to think about closing the doors now around the sit bones. So Kegel, pelvic floor contraction. It's almost a sensation of bringing the tail down in between the legs without physically going into this big posterior tilt. You don't want it coming from the ribs. You're really trying to isolate the movement of the pelvic floor with the sit bones and tailbone. You should eventually, as you become more familiar with it, start to feel a little hollowing of the lower belly. So what we call a scooping out of the lower belly. Exhaling, scoop, hollow, think tail between the legs, think scared dog. Inhaling, letting the belly inflate, thinking happy dog, tail in the air, sit bones wide and open. Let's just do 2 more here. Notice it's not a movement through the rib cage. No movement through the head and neck. We're not going into a cat curl. We're really trying to isolate that lower part of the spine with the pelvis, sacrum, tailbone. And finishing here. Slowly release, walking your hands back to your knees, and then you're going to turn around again to sit with the knees bent, feet flat. See if you can line up your feet with your sit bones and sit tall. Now this position alone is very difficult for a lot of people. So don't worry if it's too tight in the hips. Just walk your feet a little bit further forward and open up the joint. But try and see if you can keep those toes on the ground so you're not tense through the feet. From here, use the hands to support you, lifting the spine up. Take an inhale. Now think of what you just did on all fours. See if you can find that Kegel contraction around the sit bones, closing the doors on your exhale, drawing that scared dog feeling, tail between the legs to hollow out the lower belly. You should feel here that the pelvis is starting to roll back. You're creating more space between the thighs and hips. Inhaling, let go. So slowly pull up. Think happy dog, tail out. The lower back returns to its natural curve. Exhaling, scoop, hollow, Kegel, right? We're really trying to bring that tail between the legs. Inhaling, opening up. Now for a lot of people here, they find this difficult because they go more into the ribs and they allow the ribs to collapse on the organs and the belly starts to push outward rather than hollowing inward. So I want you more to think of lifting the ribs off the organs. Let your organs have some space. So when you're bringing that tail between your legs, you're actually bringing the organs backwards towards the spine, but continue lifting out of the rib cage. And we're going to do one more here just to finish. And we're going to use that same contraction to roll us all the way down to the floor. Fantastic. So now we're going to go into some specific pelvic floor work to try and balance out the muscles from front to back and side to side of the pelvic floor. And yes, believe it or not, it's a hammock of muscles. It's not just one muscle. There's a lot of small muscles in there that we want to try and wake up. So here, the little pillow that you had or bolster, you can take it now and place it underneath the pelvis. This way we're raising the pelvis up. And again, if you don't have a bolster here, it's not a big deal. You can do this flat on your back. It's just nice to do this on a decline just to get those organs out of the pelvis, give the pelvic floor a little bit of a break. Once you're here and grounded through the sacrum, you're going to bring your knees again up towards your chest, holding. If you feel that you're slipping, please readjust the bolster. And now we're going to open the legs and just let them hang out. Feet are not touching. And you're going to go into that belly breath. Inhale. And exhale, let it deflate. Now this time we're going to start to activate the pelvic floor contraction on your exhale. And once you feel that contraction, the tummy hollowing in, I want you also to bring the knees towards each other. Inhale to open. Exhale, Kegel, hollow belly, and then like a magnet through the inner thighs, drawn towards each other. Inhale, open. If you feel your belly bloating or pushing out through this exercise, you're not doing it correctly. Try and really use your hands and get that feedback of the tummy zipping inside as you draw the knees together. Now this time, rather than the thighs coming together in parallel, see if you can just bring the toes to touch. Exhale, Kegel, toes touch. Inhale to open. And notice how this feels different in the pelvic floor. As you exhale and bring the toes together, we're working more posterior pelvic floor. One more. And now let's just bring the knees together. Feet stay apart. Inhale to open, working more anterior pelvic floor. One more. And exhale, bring the legs together. And now bring one knee to you. Again, grounding yourself on one side. And you're going to do the same thing, but with one leg at a time. And we're going to see if one side is better than the other. Sometimes we're stronger on one side compared to the other. So inhaling, open. Exhaling, Kegel, hollow belly, draw the leg up. Try with the toe coming in alone. Now try with the knee coming in alone. Exhale, bring the whole leg back up. And switch sides. Ground yourself. Open the other leg. Inhale, belly inflates. Exhale, Kegel, hollow belly, the whole leg lifts up. Inhale to open. Exhale, just bring the foot in. Inhale to open. Exhale the knee. One last one, the whole leg up again. And release. One foot down, other, and then remove the bolster. So we're going to go into some abdominal work now. So we're going to start to include the upper part of the abdominals to the work that we've done lower down. We're going to bring the feet flat on the mat. Find a neutral pelvis so you're not in a tilt. You're level through the hips here. The pubic bone is level with your hips. There's a natural curve running through your lower back. Taking that inhale. As you exhale, subtle Kegel, hollow belly, and see if you can get that little pelvic tilt again as you did before. Inhale to open. Notice you're bringing your ribs and your hips closer towards each other. It's mostly hips to ribs this time. Unlike a crunch, where you would be bringing the ribs to the hips. So let's try that crunch. Exhale, nod the head, bring the ribs to the hips. Inhale to open. You can put your hands behind your head here to support and try and really get that connection, ribs to hip. Now let's see if we can put the two together. We're going to start with the upper body, ribs to hip. Hold, inhale. As you exhale, see if you can deepen that hollow through the pelvic floor work and bring the hips to the ribs, closing the gap here a little more. Inhale, release the pelvis, release the upper body, do one more. Exhale, ribs to hips. Pause, inhale, try not to bloat the belly. So we're breathing into the ribs. Exhale, scoop that belly out more through the pelvic floor, bring the hips to the ribs, close the gap.
And inhale, release and release. Now both together. Exhale, ribs to hips, hips to ribs. Hold. Inhale. Exhale, see if you can hollow out a little more. Maintain this now. If you're letting go of your pelvic floor, it's okay, it's normal. Just see if you can reconnect through the pelvic floor. Hold and raise one leg. Slowly putting that down, try not to let go, and raise the other leg. Now I'm going to keep going, but if you need a break, please roll down, take a break, and then come back to join us. Now we're going to raise one leg to hold and raise the second leg. Don't lose that gap. Close the gap and see if you can flex the feet a little bit, pushing the balls of the feet away. Inhale. Exhale, deepen by pulling up through the pelvic floor with your exhale. Coming up a little higher, ribs to hips. Now we're going to take the left arm outside the right knee, rotate. Just reach here. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, deepen. Inhale to center. Try not to flop down, stay up. Other hand, right hand to left, outside knee. Inhale. Exhale, seal the waist a little more. Inhale to center and roll down here, knees to chest. We're going up again. Inhale. Sacrum on the ground. Exhale, ribs to hips, hips to ribs. And lift the feet, push the balls of the feet away. Now you're going to go and hold on to that left leg. As you exhale, deepen through the core and lengthen the right leg away. Inhale, center. Exhale. Sealing that gap between the ribs and the hips. Holding on to that pelvic floor, making sure your chin's not poking out now. Really bring those eyes to your belly button so you're focused on your center. Now we're going to move a little faster, and you can just follow me if you have the energy. If not, do take a break. We're going to keep one leg extended and take that other leg up to the ceiling and stretch that hamstring. Let's hold here for a moment and breathe. Exhale, deepen. And just scissors kick, switch. Hold, breathe. Shoulders are falling, exhale, deepen. Seal that waist. And switch now more dynamically. If you can let go of the hands, go for it. For those of you who are more advanced and need that challenge. And one more. Hold. See if you can bring your hands to the outside of one leg, adding the oblique connection. Inhale. Switch. Pause. Switch. Pause. Switch. Pause. Inhale. Lift the two legs up to the ceiling. Open. See if you can flex the feet here. Reaching those hands in between the legs. You're going to go deepen up through the deep core. And now we're going to imagine we're tugging a rope. Play tug of war. Pull. Pull. Feel the oblique connection now. All the way through the abdominals to the pelvis. Last one, you're going to inhale to center, lift the legs, hands behind the head. And as you exhale now, you're going to lower one leg to circle, windmill around, and switch. Opening up, challenging the pelvic floor here. One more, each way. Sealing that gap in the waist. Inhale up. And exhale, roll down, knees to your chest. So final one now, the bridge. Bringing the feet down, feet parallel. Take an inhale, hands come down. As you exhale, hips to ribs, hollow, scared dog. Roll that tail between the legs and peel your spine up off the floor. Take an inhale, hold. Now as you exhale, I want you to think of sealing that gap again here in the waist. More glutes. See if you can maintain everything tight and connected as you raise the right heel up without dancing in the pelvis, and switch. Careful not to open the doors. We want to keep everything closed. Pelvic floor pulling up. Now the toes lift up. Alternate. And inhale, raise the two heels. As you exhale, heels down. See if you can maintain the lift of the pelvis. Keep sealing the gap in the waist and zipping up the pelvic floor. Last two. Last one. Heels up, inhale. Exhale, rolling down, softening through the chest. Really try and articulate through each vertebrae, lengthening the spine along the mat. And inhale, release the pelvic floor, the belly. Exhale, rest the feet. One more. Feet together, knees together. This is a little more challenging. Inhale. As you exhale, scared dog, hollow belly, roll up. Heels lift, inhale. Exhale, heel down on one foot, toes come up. As the opposite heel stays lifted, and now see if you can alternate the feet like that. One heel up, one forefoot up. Seal the gap. Last one. Lift the heels, glue the ankles, knees together. Next exhale, roll down through your spine. Take your time here. Lengthen out the back. Release. And opening up through the knees, release the tension through your groin. You can do a little rocking movement. And then if you're ready, slide the legs away. And you can finish here in Shavasana, letting go of all that tension. So take your time now to breathe. Let go of the pelvic floor, let go of the belly. And I would strongly advise here maybe rolling onto your tummy for one more cobra. We want to release all those muscles that we've worked. So again, legs parallel, pull those shoulders back, lift the breastbone, and inhale, open the doors around the solar plexus.